Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Xu Xinqian from Zhejiang University, China. I'm happy to here for participating the International Entomology Congress 2019. I'm so honored that Your Excellency, Mr. Yao Ji, together with me today at this moment. And I'm also so glad to meet so many old friends and new friends here. And I'm deeply impressed by the warm kind and your hospitality from you, which I received when I arrived in Pakistan. That is our brother's friendship. That feeling that I feel I'm at home. So thank you all. I also thank the organizing committee for inviting me to give a talk today. So today I will talk something about the research and applications of entomophaga insects. That's normally say natural enemy in China. Simply say, biological control is actually the use of one organisms to reduce the population of others, and has been used for at least 2,000 years. And China is the pioneer country for using the predatory insects against the citrus pests in the world. However, the applications by the control in China at this time is much less or much popular as compared those most European countries and the United States. However, as you may already know that China recently launched a very big national level research programs on the reduction of use of pesticides and fertilizers involving more than $340 million US, which indicates an immediate demand for development of a non-chemical method, which means provides a great opportunity for our biology control. So, the golden age of biocontrol in China is coming. So, we are working on ourselves, so we are ready. So I will present my talks in the following parts. I will focus on the recent advances in last decades, but I would like to mention briefly the history in the last 70 years. We roughly decided the last 7 years application research of entomophaga insects in China into 3 phases. Although we focus the different type of biological control in different phases, we combine actually all of them in practice. The first phase is what we call racing phase. It's starting from 1950s. And the first National Congress of Entomology Society in China was held in September in 1950s. And at that time, 7 experts gave their talk on enemies. And 7 years later, the first egg parasitoid trichogramma station was established in Guangdong for Lesmerium trichogramma against sugarcane borers. So during these times, several events we was to mention. So we're using the trichogramma against the borers as mentioned above. We're using several lead beetles against the concentration scale. We're using several parasitoids against pink portworm and some aphids in grapeyard. And what more important, actually, at that time we start to mass learning lead beetles using artificial diet. The second phase, what we call, is steady phase starting from 1980s. And during these times, actually we developed a series of technology for mass learning of natural enemies, particularly the artificial died and alternative host eggs for predators and Blastoids. So as a result, at present times, around 15 species of Blastoids and predators are now commercially viable in China. We also conduct nationwide surveys of natural enemies almost 5 years, since 1979. As a result, more than almost 2,000 species of Blastoids, predators, were found in China. And we found so many number of Blastoids and predators in different ecosystems, agricultural ecosystems, such as in rice field, corn field, and cotton field. As a result, during this period, a series of books were published related to the natural enemies, that's the biological control engines. The last phase, what we call, is the golden phase since around 2000. Because great achievements of basic research, technological innovations, and technology of conservation natural enemy has been developed in these times. And from this slide, you can see a number of national levels large research programs were launched in China. Among them, one is regulation mechanisms of and sustainable utilization of natural enemies for control insect pests, which I am as a team leader. So from this slide, you can see during this phase is the total amount of funding, the total number of articles, and the total number of patents issued were increased dramatically during this time. So for the second part, I will go into a little bit detail about the applications or application research for the natural enemy in China. But from this slide, you can see the biocontrol using natural enemy increased much more than others as compared to the total area of biocontrol used in China. And this indicated a great achievement in this area in China. And even 3 years ago, we established a national alliance for science and technologies, innovations for biocontrol to encourage application of biocontrol in China. So it is impossible for me to mention all of this for limited times. So I will show you for three aspects. The first aspect is exploration of species resources. As mentioned above, we have discovered almost 2,000 species of Blastoids. And in the last 7 years, we import almost 70 species of natural enemy from overseas into China to control over 20 invasive species. Here is a list of some star natural enemies which are available, commercialized in China, and widely applied in China in different ecosystems. The second phase is we developed a series of artificial diet or alternative hosts of mass layerings. For Trichogramma species, we developed both big egg methods that using giant eggs and the small eggs that using rhizomous eggs for mass layering Trichogramma species. Which the small egg layering technology is much better. They can significantly improve So what's offspring quality and efficiency of our accommodated products. Then for predators, we also developed a series of technologies, among which one is was mentioned, that is micro-encapsulated artificial diet for very smaller predators, such as beetles, lead beetles, and Oris species bugs, and which is low cost and high qualities. And the third aspect, we developed some technology for conservation and release of natural enemies. We improved so-called one species against one species. We mainly expand using trichroma against corn borer to borers in rice field and vegetable field. So now, the total areas using trichroma in China now reach 34 million hectares. And we also taking many developed techniques, what we call multiple species against one species. For example, we combine using predators and predators against whiteflies. I think whiteflies now is a superbug in the world, as well as in China and Pakistan. And also we combine using several species of predators, or combine using predators and predators, again, several species in the greenhouses, like aphids, whitefly, and thrips, which result quite successful, good. And we also take a number of measures in the field to enhancing the biocontrol service. For example, evidence from Asian countries, mainly from Vietnam, Thailand, China, they show that one simple and very inexpensive measures, such planting nectar-producing plants around the rice fields, can significantly reduce populations of two key pests in rice fields and reduce the pesticide use by 70%. We also developed techniques of combining of different measures in orchards to manipulate the vegetations to improve the biological control ecological surface in the, particularly in the northern part of China, particularly successful in the apple orchard. And also we take different measures to enhance the biocontrol service in the greenhouses. And combine, as mentioned above, we combine the using of releasing predators and adoptions of what we call plant media supported system for natural enemies. For example, we're using bank plant, nectar producing plant to producing very good result. And now, actually, we can get a result in some areas which result in a zero application of pesticides. That means very successful for biocontrol of pests. From above slide, you can see the technology innovation actually sustainably reduce the cost of natural enemy products and comprehensively enhancing the application efficiency of natural enemies. I think it is absolutely that the innovation in applications of natural enemy has benefit from the basic research which achieved in China in the last several decades. So we have achieved the great achievements actually in the basic research in a wide range of areas, such as biology, ecology of entomophaga insects, and the interactions, multiple interactions among the insects, plants, herbivores, and natural enemy, and also the reproductive biology of natural enemies, and the mechanism, molecular mechanism underlying the physiological interaction between the host and parasitoids. And even at the ecology levels, the impact of environmental effects for performance of natural enemies. So again, because time limited, it is not possible for me to mention all of this. I just quickly provide some examples. We actually we had discovered some parasitoids, the parasitic insects, can screen or produce macroine, so many macroine, and deliver it into the host to target the number of targeted genes in host. And we confirmed that they can modulate the host development. This is the first report in the world. After the paper is published in Nature Communication, it is highlighted by Nature Review. We also, for the first time, discovered a new RNA virus which can regulate the sex ratio of parasitoids, which is differently that the bacteria can modulate the parasitoid reproduction, as we know before. And also we discovered several mechanisms that the parasitoids can regulate our host immunities. For example, we found the serpin from parasitoid venom can inhibit the immune response in the parasite host. And we also found some parasitoid-associated effects, such as teratocite, can produce proteins that can inhibit the immune system of host on the one hand, but also can compensate the inhibited immune system of host. That's the two directions, regulations of host immunity. Yeah. Thank you. And again, for the first time, we also find actually the parasitoids, particularly the polyDNA virus of parasitoids, can modulate the transduction, the signal transduction in the central nervous system of the host, and eventually controls the development of the host. And also we found very interesting that the parasitoids, predators, and some herbivores, they can locate their targets, but using the same compound, what we call plant volatilize, which is emitted by plants after insect feedings. And also we find, explore the impact of biological factors that can affect the performance of parasitoids. And also we established some platform, particularly the bioinformatics, for using our parasitoids and some gene research function platform, and using the new technologies and narrow RNAs. So from the slide, I think the result of basic research actually can significantly provide the theoretical basis, technical support, and practical guidance for gene products, artificial rearing, large-scale productions, and improved conservation of natural enemies in the field. So now I'll take a few minutes talking about the challenges and the future. I think we are facing a lot of challenges, as well as China and Pakistan. I listed many of them, but I don't want to mention one by one. And I think the future, is bright. Not only in the basic research, but also the applications. Particularly, I think we are welcome, or I think the internet plus ages for application natural enemy is coming, because a large number of big companies in China now involving in the area of biocontrol. For example, in the near future, we can order the natural enemy online and can distribute it within 40 hours nationwide. And last but not least, I think the China and Pakistan corridor, or the One Belt Road initiative, provides a great opportunity for our international cooperation for the biocontrol. I would like to thank the many experts from China, from different institutes, because we have established a nationwide cooperation network. I also want to thank the Minister of Science and Technology the Ministry of Agriculture and the Natural Science Foundation of China for their providing financial support for us. Thank you for your attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite our guest of honor, Mr. Farooq Habib, Federal Parliamentary Secretary, Railways. Please put your hands together for Mr. Farooq Habib.
With the name of Almighty Allah, most beneficial and merciful, our Chief Guest, His Excellency, Mr. Yao Jing, Ambassador of People's Republic of China to Pakistan, worthy Vice Chancellor Sahab, our distinguished international and national guests, and all the faculties here, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu Alaikum. Entomology is some sort of a technical subject, and I was sitting and thinking there, to talk on entomology, I have to be first enrolled student and then become a expert to talk on this topic. So, I feel honored to be here to part of this, prestigious Congress, to talk about our agriculture advancement. And as you know, Pakistan and China has a long historical relationship. And the famous saying we are iron brothers. And we are all weather friends, and our friendship is higher than Himalaya, deeper than ocean, and sweeter than honey. President Xi Jinping have a great vision of Belt and Road concept to link the world, to make it a global market. And our Prime Minister, Mr. Imran Khan, has a special vision about our agriculture uplift and to introduce a new cooperation between Pak-China CPAC project and to incorporate agriculture sector in it. Our Prime Minister Imran Khan, in his last visit to China, they have incorporated their vision and announced to observe 2019 year as a year of agriculture between Pakistan and China. As a result, a joint working group formed on agriculture on these aspects under the umbrella of CPAC. Both countries have wide scope of learning and sharing in the field of inspect complex viral and other disease abiotic stresses due to the climate change, especially drought and salinity that is causing big losses to the production. This situation demands attention of scientists, researchers, growers, policymakers to search the ways to cope with the problems, ensuring bumper yield and economic benefits to the farmers. So, at the end, I am very much impressed by the China, and China is the largest, fastest growing GDP in the world, and China has elevated more than 700 people from the poverty level. That is a thing to learn from China. I congratulate the Department of Entomology, University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, on holding this Congress, gathering scientists from all over the world, Pakistan, to address issues faced by the farmers and the society. I hope your valuable scientific vision will help Pakistan agriculture to accept the challenges of present-day agriculture. I strongly believe that these fields of Pakistan will also extend their cooperation in terms of transfer and exchange of technology and human resource development of joint ventures to address the challenges of farming system for 21st century. At the end, I commend the efforts of all organizing team, Koteva taking lead to set this platform of discussion for findings and entomological solutions of the problems. My best wishes, Pakistan Paindabad, long live Pakistan, Pak-China friendship. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite our chief guest, His Excellence Mr. Yao Cheng. He is the extraordinary and plenipotentiary of Ambassador of People's Republic of China to Pakistan. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Yao Cheng.
First of all, let me express my thanks to the Professor Manzoor Hassan, the chief organizer of this entomology International Congress, which I know nothing about this bugs or these beetles. Thank you, Professor Aslam Khan, the Dean Faculty of Agriculture. That from your remarks, I only understand one thing. We need supercomputer and GPS to deal with these worms, right? And also thank Professor Chen Xuexin, I think from Zhejiang Province University, for your lecture. I think from your lecture, I only learned that there are a lot of similarities between China and Pakistan, including these insects and bugs. So we have to deal with these similar challenges, and we have to share more technology. And thank you, Mr. Farooq Habib, MA. I think you are as ignorant as I do, as far as these bugs are concerned. But I'm very much impressed by the enthusiasm you have expressed that to have a further cooperation in the sectors of agriculture, including entomology in this science and technology. In fact, it is a great honor for me to be present on this very professional and technical conference. But I think that we have two universities from China who have been here present their professional and technical assessment and lectures for this Congress, International Congress. So let me present my sincere congratulations for the successful organization and the convention of this Congress. A lot of international students from all over Pakistan, you are gathering under this roof, the University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. I think it is a very lucky occasion for all of us sitting together to do more cooperation, to do more joint research, and to share more experience among each other. Agriculture is the foundation of the nation's economy. 40 years ago, when China started this opening up and reform, we started from the agricultural sector. So far, I think China is the largest populated country. We are feeding 1.4 billion population in China. The basic resources come from agriculture. And I believe in Pakistan, we are also very proud. You are feeding more than 200 million population here, and you still have surplus of the crops to export. So this is a good achievement that for your government, for your people. However, there are a lot of new technologies. There are a lot of new techniques developing in this sector. And we still also have a lot of space to expand our cooperation and collaboration in these sectors. Just now we had a very brief discussion with the Honorable Vice Chancellor here. And we have already, I think, based on our ongoing project, we have already discussed some ideas of future cooperation as far as agriculture or as far as the University of Agriculture Faisalabad is concerned. I think we are going to have an agriculture display center in your university with more focus on the deliverable practice technologies for the rural population, for the farmers. And we will increase our exchange programs, scholarships, and workshops with your faculties and your students, with the various Chinese universities. And thirdly, that I think all that our university or our agricultural universities or science and technology universities, we are going to encourage that the UAF and our universities to have closer collaborations with our academic institutions. We are looking forward, the Honorable Prime Minister Imran Khan, to visit China again in 2 weeks to China. And right now, that between the two governments, we are going to finalize the agreement, framework agreement on agriculture. As the MNA has mentioned, that a sub-working group has already constituted between the two governments. And we are going to include more and more agricultural research, agricultural cooperation projects under the CPEC, under the two government plans of cooperation. So the young students, in particular, that when you are sitting here, I would like to say that you are entering into a very promising time, very promising stage for the development of agriculture, for the development of your own nation. China and Pakistan, we have been long-term partners and friends, and we will be long-term partners and friends. But I think that the Chinese government, the Chinese academic institutions should pay more attention to the cooperation on the concrete, on the deliverable areas like agriculture, including the research and academic, including the commercial and the industrial cooperation of agriculture. So this is the vision of the two governments. This is also the area for us to have more cooperation. So this is the occasion for me to not discuss something about these bugs and beetles, but I think that it is an eye-opener for me to understand the potential areas, the potential enthusiasm for a kind of more cooperation in the field of agriculture. So thank you, Vice Chancellor, for giving me this chance. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Excellence, Mr. Yao Ching, Ambassador of People's Republic of China. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite Professor Dr. Zafar Iqbal, Vice Chancellor, University of Agriculture, Faisalabad, to please come to the stage.
बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत शुक्रिया। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। बूटियां जला लेने दे थोड़ी जी। His Excellency Mr. Yao Jing, Ambassador, People's Republic of China, Honorable Minister, my brother Mia Farooq Habib Saab, Dean Agriculture, and Chairman Entomology, delegates from China, Turkey, and within Pakistan coming from different universities, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, and colleagues. I'm very pleased to share with you that we had a 10 or 15 minutes discussion with His Excellency Mr. Yao Jing in my chamber, and I was so happy to see him such a humble, such a person having a great intellect and vision, such a knowledge about the roadmap of the China and Pakistan friendship, and with special reference to the CPEC. I was very impressed, and certainly we are looking forward, being one of the great alma maters in agriculture, both crop agriculture and animal agriculture, we look forward to contribute right in accordance to the vision of Prime Minister Imran Khan and the present government. There's no doubt about that we have friendship with China much higher than the Himalayas, much sweeter than the honey, and certainly the government-to-government talks, the people-to-people understanding and trust that we have built in the last many years, that is going to bring fruits in this continent, whole continent, whole area. And we have heart-to-heart contact. And our contact, our friendship, not only in the hearts of our Pakistan and China, but Indian, our neighbors, they also know by heart how close we are with each other. Ladies and gentlemen, where do we stand today? Imran Khan has a vision, our Honorable Prime Minister for New Pakistan, and we are all together to address the issues of largest GDP contributor of the country, that is agriculture. As the title of this session is focused on the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, that is the flagship project of One Belt and One Road initiative taken by Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping. I apologize if I pronunciate the names in a different manner. As of today, I think let me put it here. That's better. I'll be more comfortable with it. Ladies and gentlemen, the friendship, the people used to say that friendship that should be interest-free, belows. I do not believe this. Friendship always is based on interest between the friends. If one friend loses interest, the other also loses. We are good friends, we are great friends, and we work for our people on both sides, in China as well as in Pakistan, based on our interests. And what are our interests? The economic interest. And if you see the history, since Pakistan and China, when they were created, they were independent from after the colonial days, we are enjoying this friendship. Sometimes we are going to help out our Chinese friends, and later on, then they are fully developed. They are going to help us in agriculture sector, in different technology sector, and science and technology like that. As of today, this university has more than 30 MOUs signed with different universities of China. And I hope in coming times, we will be having more cooperation. And I would urge to the youth sitting here, prepare yourself for the opportunities of CPEC. And you can only prepare if you're skilled. It's your choice that you want to be an employer or you want to be an employee. It's your choice you want to be a producer or you want to be a consumer. It's your choice that you want to be on giving end or you want to be on receiving end. The history of this great country, China, they have worked very hard. Our Prime Minister very rightly said that we are going to learn lessons that how Chinese, they came out from the poverty. How have they reduced that? So these are the lessons to be learned. If I may allowed, I would like to switch my address into other language, hybrid language in Urdu or Punjabi, so that the communication, there is no communication gap.